and avoid unwanted deflections. The shaft's function is to hold the flight the correct distance from the barrel. The correct shaft length can help the dart enter the board at the appropriate angle. The wrong length can cause unwanted blockouts. The barrels of darts range from brass, nickel and tungsten. The much denser tungsten used by today's professionals weigh the same as brass but are much slimmer because of their density. This leaves you more target space at which to aim. The board is hung 5'8" from the floor to the centre of the bullseye, with the 20 at the top. The board consists of a sequence of numbers, with the higher numbers flanked by the lower ones. Each sector has a triple and a double ring, with of course the outer and inner ball in the middle. Finally, the area from which you throw is called the oche and is located 7'9¼ from the base of the board.
Review. Always maintain your equipment to ensure peak performance. Begin with an inexpensive brass dart to help you determine your own preference. Adjust your dart shaft length should your throw's trajectory become inconsistent. Remember to always use the proper setup procedure on the board and the oche. Tip number 2, the grip.
Well, as you can see, grips vary greatly, but there are two basics which remain the same: comfort and balance. They are the keys to a successful grip and are essential in almost all sports, especially those which require a delicate touch. You've got to grip the dart in a comfortable manner. And at the same time, you've got to be firmly balanced to get the best results. Now let's have a closer look. To grip a dart properly, lay it across the palm of your natural throwing hand. Balance it in your fingers to find the centre of gravity. Sort of pretend you're trying to guess the dart's weight. Next, grip the dart with your thumb and first two fingers just behind the centre of gravity, in a fashion much like you would hold a pencil or a pen. That's the basic grip, and it's from here that individual variations will begin to be determined. Personally, I like to have my third finger touching the tip of the dart, with my little finger extended. It's just my personal style that I've developed and found to be the best for me. Once you've developed your own style, it will become second nature and you'll be able to concentrate on other elements of the game.
Tip number 3, the stance.
Once again, comfort and balance are key, but having a proper stance will help you become a better player right away. So pay attention. First, find the centre of the oche right in front of the ball. If you're throwing with your right hand, place your right foot against the oche, pointing in the direction you're aiming, and the opposite if you throw with your left hand. Now get balanced. You want your throwing shoulder forward, leaning towards the target as far as your balance will allow. Your other foot is behind, angled at about 45 degrees to provide stability. Your centre of gravity should be just behind your right foot. But remember, too much lean forward and your back foot will be waving in the air, which doesn't do much for accuracy. I prefer my foot flat against the oche. This way, I'm closer to the board. But if you don't feel comfortable this way, try the standard style. Also, Don't be shy about moving up and down the hockey if your target has been blocked by a previous shot. This was frowned upon in the old days, but if you see me play, you'll know I make full use of the hockey to get the best angle on every shot. Now that we've covered grip and stance, we're ready to throw.
Tip number 4, the throw.
OK, the darts do have to stick in the board, but you don't have to throw it with the force of a javelin. Try to get ready for your throw with a relaxed, comfortable stance. Firm, but not tense grip, and concentration on your target. Let's have a closer look. Your throw should begin by sighting the target with your right or most forward eye. Bring the dart back towards you at eye level. All the movement should come from the arm while the rest of your body remains stationary. Your forearm provides the arm movement. Your elbow should automatically come up as you release the dart. You should release the dart just before your elbow straightens, giving you a well-balanced position at the time of release. Once you've developed your throwing technique, you've got to then develop consistency to achieve success. By becoming more familiar with the board, you will naturally begin throwing your darts in a quicker rhythm. Rhythm is essential to remain consistent and competitive. I know fundamentals aren't very exciting, but they are the groundwork for developing into a good darter. So let's review the 3 points on grip, stance and throw.
Review. Begin by gripping the dart in a comfortable manner. Your stance should begin by pointing your right foot forward in the direction you're aiming if throwing with your right hand. Your other foot balances you as you lean towards the target. Always bring the dart back towards you at eye level. You should have a well-balanced stance at the time of release. Tip number 5, 501, the game.
Tops.
Yes! That's the second leg! Eric Briscoe!
I've earned my reputation from the game called 501. It's the game in the world of professional darts, and the standard in Great Britain from the youth leagues right the way up to the World Cup.
The rules are simple when playing any 01 game. You start from a preset number, in this case 501. Then begin working your way down with the highest combinations possible until you can double out to 0 exactly.
It sounds simple enough. In fact, just about anyone can learn to throw a good dart. But being able to calculate instantly and knowing your options is imperative to becoming a winner. And that's the part of the game that separates the contenders from the pretenders. So let's have a look at this most fascinating game of 501. When I initially began playing the game, I learned more from scoring rather than playing. How could that be, you say? Well, it's really quite simple. By scoring, I began to develop a better understanding of the game, by observing other players and their different strategies. This would later prove invaluable when I began to play competitively. There are many finishing combinations, the highest being 170, 2 treble 20s and the ball. But be aware, some are more risky than others, depending on the game situation. The important thing is to always remember is to try and leave yourself an option if you should miss the target. My favourite is double 16. That's because the way the number breaks down. If you miss a double and hit single 16 by mistake, then you can finish with double 8, which also happens to be beside double 16. That will help you keep your rhythm. If you now hit single 8, you can close with double 4. before then break